watching Dante's Boxing Nation. Woo!
He has his promoter.
So I told Bill, I said, Bill, we don't need a podcast. We don't need these guys to start negotiating our fight. You know me, I know you. So I did a three-way, and they spoke to each other. Orengo invited him to Arizona so they can talk about it. He was asking Orengo to give a price, to give an amount. Orengo's a smart man, bro. Orengo's a businessman. He's not going to shoot a price out there. He wants to negotiate. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, he's in all his rights to do so. So, I mean, sometimes fights happen, sometimes fights don't. Hopefully this does. But I put them together. I was on the three-way line. Bill was very respectful, just as Juan. Juan is a great man. So I believe they got something going on. I believe they got something going on. And Bill's a man of his word, and he kept saying, I want to fight the boogeyman. I want to fight the boogeyman. How much is it to fight the boogeyman? But so, I mean, nobody here is scared of nobody. I don't know who told him that we said that Devin was scared or who, you know how media is and things like that, but I've always respected Devin, and I'll always respect him, and I'll always respect Bill.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? Okay, so about a month ago, right after Devin Haney beat Regis Prograis, Bill Haney contacted Subriel Matias' promoter directly. This has all been confirmed by Matias' trainer because he was on the line with them. Bill Haney, he tells Matias' promoter, we want to fight the boogeyman. How much is it to fight the boogeyman? Now, keep in mind, the first couple of times that Bill Haney called his promoter hung up on him. Now, remember, it was the promoter and the rest of the team that was saying that Bill Haney had contacted the wrong people before. But then as soon as Bill Haney contacts the promoter, he hangs up on him. So Bill Haney continued to be persistent. He calls this man back, telling him, we want to fight the boogeyman. How much is it to fight the boogeyman? In other words, he's asking them how much do they want? And Matias' promoter, he responded by saying, we'll get back to you. Let me get back to you in about a week. And they never called Bill Haney back. It's been over a month now. So Matias' trainer, he comes out, he does a recent interview where he kind of gives a little bit of an update on that conversation that took place with Bill Haney and Matias' promoter. And the reason why I call it an update is because now the trainer is revealing that he's not even interested in his fighter fighting against Devin Haney. He's saying that if it was up to him, he would prefer that Matias fights against Arnold Barboza.
Man, he's a businessman. He doesn't live off boxing, so you're not going to impress him with numbers. You're not going to impress him, yelling over the internet. And Bill told me, he hung up on me. I see you keep yelling, he's going to hang up on you 3 or 4 times. Every time you yell, he's going to hang up. That's just the way it is. But I mean, who's left? I personally, in my opinion, I think the guy that deserves a shot at Subriel Matias, because he was the guy that lifted his hand when nobody was lifting before Subriel his win versus Ergachev, and as soon as he beat Ergachev, was Arnold Barboza. It's a guy that I believe that's a strong fighter. He's proved himself. I believe he deserves a shot. But again, I said I'm just a trainer, man. I'm not his manager. I'm not part of the team as who decides. They just tell me on this day and this is who he's fighting. But if I had any say so, I would like to give Arnold Barboza a shot.
First of all, you hear the trainer say he hung up on Bill Haney because Bill Haney was yelling. But this doesn't make any sense, because if Bill Haney never called the promoter back, the promoter would have never called Bill Haney back. He would have never tried to make this fight for Matias. So you have Matias that was saying before the Regis Prograis fight that Devin Haney is a coward, he's a chicken, and he wants to fight Devin Haney. Now Devin Haney's people are contacting Matias' promoter. They hang up on him. And then when Bill calls him back and asks them how much money they want, he says, let me get back to you. It sounds like he's talking to a collections agency, like he's just trying to avoid the call at all costs. So once again, the trainer says the promoter hung up on Bill because Bill was yelling. But then when Bill calls back and he starts talking about business, then the guy still gets off the phone and never calls Bill back. By Matias' trainer's own admission, he said that Bill Haney was very respectful when he was talking to Matias' promoter on the phone. So you can't even use the Bill was yelling excuse anymore. And remember, guys, everything that I'm telling you is Matias's own trainer's side of the story. Now, Matias's trainer, he says that if it was up to him, he would prefer an Arnold Barboza fight. Even though Arnold Barboza, he hasn't even reached out to Matias's promoter like Devin Haney did. Now, guys, just to give you a better perspective, imagine if Canelo's team contacted David Benavidez's promoter, asking them how much money they want to make this fight against Canelo. And David Benavidez's promoter hangs up on them, saying they were yelling at him. And then when Canelo's reps calls back, then David Benavidez's promoter, he says, you know what? Let me get back to you guys. And he never gets back to them. How would that be perceived? So let's just look at these two opponents side by side and look at what would be the benefits for Matias. If Matias fights Devin Haney, he'll be fighting for another belt, so he'll be able to unify. If he fights Devin Haney, he will make more money, way more money, than he would make fighting against Arnold Barboza. It would be a much bigger fight fighting Haney as opposed to fighting against Arnold Barboza, and it would be a much bigger win because he would be beating someone who is considered pound for pound one of the best fighters in the world. So why would Matias's trainers say they would prefer to fight Arnold Barboza? It would only be one benefit, and that's Arnold Barboza would be an easier fight than a Devin Haney fight. They would have a much better chance beating Barboza than beating Devin Haney, which is why Matias' trainer, he also said in this interview, when he was asked how they would fight Barboza, he talked about how Matias would do really good against Barboza. He said because Barboza wouldn't run. The translation is simple. He's saying Devin Haney is a better fighter. Devin Haney has a better defense. Devin Haney has a higher intelligence. That would make for a difficult fight. Because the truth is, they really don't care if a fighter moves in the ring, as long as he's easy to hit, as long as he doesn't have a high boxing IQ. Because the trainer, he says Barboza, he won't run in the ring. But when Barboza fought against Jose Pedraza, he did quote unquote run in the ring. He was moving. He was boxing in that fight. If you guys have paid attention to the sport of boxing, then what you'll notice is usually when you have two power punchers that usually come forward, if those two styles fight against each other, at least 9 times out of 10, one of them will end up being the boxer in that fight. But the funny thing is, we all know Devin Haney doesn't run. Devin Haney does not move that much in a fight. Devin is often standing right in front of his opponents, no matter how hard they punch. And Matias's trainer is not that naive. He's not that dumb. He knows this is the way Devin Haney fights. When you hear trainers like this say that a fighter runs, that's also another way for them to say he doesn't make too many mistakes in the ring. And a fighter that doesn't make that many mistakes is very difficult to beat. So you guys have heard it once again from Matias's own trainer, that they would prefer to fight Arnold Barboza as opposed to fighting Devin Haney. If Matias himself wanted to fight Devin Haney, he would be on the phone with his promoter, telling his promoter to contact Devin Haney. Because at the end of the day, it's the fighter that has to agree to who he's going to fight next. He's the one that picks his opponent, not his promoter. His promoter is working for him. He's not working for the promoter. But it's easy for boxers to say, oh, well, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. The promoter hasn't talked to me. I haven't talked to him. This is exactly what Matias said after his promoter had that conversation with Bill Haney. He said they talked and I don't know what they talked about, meaning he had no interest in fighting Devin Haney. Because if you had an interest in fighting Devin Haney, you would definitely want to know what they talked about. How can it be possible that we know how the conversation went, but Matias, he doesn't know how the conversation went? Matias has no interest in taking this Devin Haney fight. He's looking for an easier fight, like an Arnold Barboza fight, which is not even a guaranteed win. We'll see who he ends up getting in the ring with next. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one. All right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, the fever blisters, diabetic ulcers, this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called LO Decay Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to lodecay.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram. Let me tell you guys about Issa Israel Law Firm. It is a full-service legal practice based in Denver, Colorado, an emerging hub for combat sports and high-altitude training. If you're a fighter inside or outside of the ring and you need a law firm you can trust to fight for you, Visit thefighterfirm.com or email help@iilawfirm.com. Legal representation is usually limited to plaintiffs or defendants in Colorado, but iFirm can help anyone in the world with trademarking their business name, logos, and U.S. immigration issues. This brother has been my attorney for a while and helped guide me through all kinds of business and civil issues, so make sure you guys go to thefighterfirm.com.